Hey divas, happy Tuesday. Hello. How is everybody? Please put a 1 in the chat and let me know if you can hear me before I get started. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Thank you all for joining Pink Table Topics. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. Okay, I see a 1 in the chat. Thank you, sis. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining Pink Table Topics. I am your host and your good sis, Pink Diva. Thank you so much for joining me. As you're pulling your seat up to the table, please don't forget to hit that like button for me. Feel free to drop down and leave a comment and also engage in our topic. Turn your bell notifications on so that you'll be notified each and every time I drop a new topic. And as you know, our mission is to create a safe space for women to gather as a community, engage in healthy dialogue regarding real life issues that we as women deal with on a daily basis, but most importantly, to foster the true meaning of sisterhood. And if you are here, that means you are subscribed and representing our Diva tribe. And we're not just any Diva. We are divine, we are inspiring, we are valiant, and we are admirable. Welcome to the table, Divas. Happy Tuesday. How is everybody? Has everyone been having a good day? I hope you have been having a good day. I have been super busy, been running around, got a lot of stuff that I have to get done before our cutie crew vacation. I have a lot of orders that I got to get out, so I've been running. You hear me? Trying to get everything business-wise, all the orders and stuff packed and shipped and all of that stuff ready to get out of the way. And also, today also starts my busy time at work. So trying to get ahead on some of my accounts since I'll be missing a few days next Thursday and Friday. So making sure I can get, and I have a deadline that's on the 19th for a couple of my accounts. So I have to, work ahead and try to get everything super caught up so that I don't have a lot to do when I return, and then also so that I don't miss any deadlines while I'm gone. But nonetheless, I am so excited. I am so excited about our vacation that's coming up. But to everybody that's joining, if you're listening in, please make sure you drop down and hit the like button for me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks to my mods, my sisters, Chit Chat with QT and Teresa for being here modding for me. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. I love you, ladies. Teresa said, bring me a few chocolate covered strawberries, girl, and pack them where? Pack them where, girl? And strawberries are going out of season. It's out of season time for strawberries, and they're super small. They are super small. And I put my strawberries on hiatus during the fall and winter months and bring them back around Valentine's Day because they're super small and not even worth your time for sure. But that do sound good, Teresa. Would be good with some of them drinks we'll be having over there. Definitely with some wine, but yeah, they're out of season. Hey, CDW, thanks for joining, sis. I appreciate you for being here. Yes, sis, they do sound good, don't they? They sound really good. I do. But we are here for a short time and not a long time because, as I stated, I'm super busy. I want to try to get caught up on some things and I just want to rest. I am tired. When I say I literally just walked in the house, I've been at my shop like all day, trying to get everything kind of caught up. My daughter leaves for Virginia tomorrow for a wedding, so I'll be by myself trying to get everything done. So your girl been hustling. You hear me? Your girl has been hustling. I have been getting it in. But those are good problems to have. So I'm definitely not complaining. Definitely not complaining. Yes, sis, she will be in the area. She is coming out there for a wedding. She sure will. But so let us go ahead and get into our topic. As you saw on the thumbnail, we are talking about friendships. Let me do our motivational quote for today. Strong friendships aren't built on perfect expectations, but on patience, grace, and love that meets reality with understanding. Again, strong friendships aren't built on perfect expectations, but on patience, grace, and love that meets reality with understanding. Okay. So as you saw, and before we get into our topic, let's go over to our tea at the table. I wanted to touch base about our Pink Table Book Club. Um, if you're here and you are stating that you'll be a part of the book club, did you download your book yet? Have you started reading it? I'm so excited to be rereading. I was telling Sis the other day, I'm finishing up one that I was already reading, and then I'm going to go back and to start reading our book of the month for October so that I can refresh my memory on the book. But one of the things that I'm trying to decide, and I'll do like another live that'll be strictly for book club divas that want to be a part of the book club. Hey, Real Talk with Grace and Mercy. Thank you for joining, sis. I appreciate you for being here. But I'll have another live that'll be strictly for our book club divas, and we'll talk more about it. But I kind of want to go over how we are going to go about choosing the books each month. I want everybody that's a part to feel like they're also included and have the opportunity. If you would like to choose a book for us to read, that you'll be given that opportunity as well. So I'm thinking about putting like a suggestion post maybe on the community wall. If you have a good book that you think would be a good read for us, and you can post it over there and I can put it on the list. Or, if you all want me to choose the books, y'all know I got 16 years worth of books in my arsenal. So I have some great books, but I also want everybody else to have the opportunity to be able to provide a book for us to read as well. October 18th is our first official book club date. So feel free to invite your girlfriends that you know that enjoy reading, and share the book with them so they can read in and join along with us as well. So, but definitely make sure you do that. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Sis said, I'm waiting until the week of to read. Yes, that way it'll stay in your memory. So yes, it is a series. This book is a 6-book series. So we got a while before we open up for a new book. So this book has 6 books in this series. So it's books 1 through 6. So we're going to finish this series because you're going to want to go from book to book, because that's how juicy it is. And it's always a cliffhanger that's leaving you wanting more and to see what happens next. So we're going to finish the series. Now, all of our reads won't be series all the time. Some of them will be standalone books so that it ends at the end of the book and is not a cliffhanger, so to say. So we'll definitely make sure we complete this series, and then maybe the next one I'll throw in like a standalone book that we can read, and that'll be just a book 1, and no series to it as well. Because if you like me, if it's a cliffhanger, I want to immediately go into the next one so that I can find out what's going on. But definitely. But I got some good ones. Know that I got some good ones. Teresa said, and up all night reading it. Have you, sis? I know that's right. They be juicy, girl. Listen, it gets greater later. All I can say is this book 1 is setting the stage for what's to come. When I say it gets heated and it gets even better as we go through this, listen, when I say this is a series that we can tie into like some real life stuff, listen, it's good. It's that good. So for sure. Sis said that hello to all of the divas in the chats. She's 4 minutes from home. Okay, sis, be careful. Be careful. But anyway, we'll talk more about that because we'll definitely be having another live to touch base with just book club, for book club stuff prior to our October 18th meeting. We're just trying to let things kind of get back to normal after the Vegas trip, because we know everybody is packing and trying to prepare for that. So after we get back from Vegas, we'll do another touch base, for sure. Sis says, does the narrator have a good voice? um are you talking about on the e-reader, sis, on the audiobook? Because some of them don't. Some of some of them don't. You be like, what? I'm not sure. I didn't listen to it on the audiobook. I actually read it. I read it on my now when Alexa reads it, Alexa will, because a lot of times when I'm listening, I usually listen on Alexa. I'll have Alexa read it to me while I'm working or walking or something like that. And she's okay. Alexa is okay. She'll try to change her little voice depending on what part she reads. But the audiobook, I am not sure. Sometimes their voices don't fit the scene that's going on in the book. So you may have to read it for yourself, to actually read it instead of listening at it. So yeah. Yeah, Teresa, some of them are boring. And listen, these books are too juicy to be boring. Yes, it is an audiobook, Teresa. I have Kindle. I have Kindle Unlimited, and that's how I read my books on my devices. But there is also Audible. You can get the audiobook on Audible if you have like Amazon Prime. So yeah, you can get it. Hey Danya, thanks for joining, sis. Look at sis talking about she needs Siri. Well, girl, get Siri. Get Siri, honey. Hook her up. That is too funny. Teresa says, I have Kindle Unlimited as well. Good to know. Oh, yes. I say, if you listen, if you have Kindle Unlimited, utilize it, because you can get most of the books you can get for free on Kindle Unlimited. This one, for whatever reason, because it's an older book, I'm sure she re-released it, which is why it's $6. But when we got it on Kindle years ago, it was free for us to download it. So and a lot of times you'll see where authors are re-releasing some of their really, really good novels, and it'll be a price on it, a very low price. But so yeah, definitely read them on your Kindle book, because you can download them. Once you read it, you can send it back and download more for free of charge. So definitely read on your Kindle, and then you can read it on your device, wherever you are, actually. Hey, Deborah. Thanks for joining, sis. Deborah says, hello, Pink Diva mods in chat. Thanks for being here, sis. We appreciate you. But anyway, we'll be talking more about that. We'll talk more about that. Let's get into our topic so that we don't hold you too long. As you saw in the thumbnail, we were talking about friendships and the expectations of friendships versus the reality of friendships. Hey, Sharon. Thanks for joining, Diva. How are you feeling today? Thank you for pulling up to the table. We appreciate you. But as I was saying, friendships are beautiful, but they're not always easy. Sometimes the expectations that we carry don't tend to match the reality that we actually experience within our friendships. Over here, especially, and anywhere else, you've heard me always preaching the importance of sisterhood and being surrounded by like-minded women that have our best interest at heart. So that is why I wanted to talk about this topic and share our experiences with friendships. I have some clips I'm going to show you on friendships that I ran across on Instagram that kind of helped pique my interest into talking about this topic. I shared with sis a little while ago that I recently had to walk away from a long-term friendship because it was just no longer serving me and what I felt like friendship should be and what it should feel like. And when you look back on all of the times that you've shared, the conversations you've had, and just the overall value that that friendship holds as we are growing, or are we just holding on because of history? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we really value the friendships that we have, or are we just holding on to those friendships because of the history that we share with the individuals? And some quote unquote friends will set unknown expectations and require you to adhere to those expectations without there even being a conversation. You know, some people have like these set boundaries or set expectations in their head as to what their friendships and relationships should look like. But, you know, they haven't communicated that to you. Like, you know, we're all very different. We all think very different. And I just feel like with any relationship, communication is key. There is no way that we can set boundaries or have expectations in any relationship without it being communicated, right? We all need to be on the same page. We can't just assume that everyone will have the same moral compass that we will have. They won't always hold the same belief system that we have, and they won't always be the friend to us as we are to them. Have you ever been in a situation to where you were always the giving one, the one always going out of your way to make sure the friendship, you know, works? You're very thoughtful. You thought about everybody when they were going through stuff, like, or even it could just be something to where I'm just sending you a little motivational text message or something. And then when you start to look back, like, you know, none of that is reciprocated to me, right? None of that is reciprocated. And you always want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself by people who can actually be a good friend. And this is where learning how to set boundaries, healthy boundaries within your friendships come in at, because I personally don't believe friendships should be hard. I just really don't think friendships should be hard. Will there be disagreements? Absolutely. But as adults, we should be able to hold grown folks conversations and talk through our disagreements and be able to move past it. But there are some situations that'll show up and you won't be able to move past those type of situations, and you'll actually end up having to dissolve the relationship. Hey Betty, thanks for joining, sis. I appreciate you. Hey CC, hey Bridget, thanks for joining. Thanks for pulling up to the table. Danya says, yes, Pink Diva, I have definitely been in a situation like that with family members as well. Absolutely. With family members, friendships, relationships, you know, communication is key, and setting healthy boundaries is key. As I was stating, and I'm going to toot my own horn here. You know, I'm going to pat myself on the back. Hey, Brittany Janae, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here, Diva. I'm going to toot my own horn. Let me tell you, when I make the statement of you need to make sure that you can be a good friend in order to draw good friends. That is something that my grandmother told me a long time ago. In order to have good people around you, you need to be a good person. And I am a great friend. And I am not just saying that because it's me and I'm talking about myself. I am a really good friend. I'm very attentive. I go out of my way for my friends. You know, I pay attention to the things that they say and the things that they do. I'm a great gift giver. When, you know, I see that they're down or they're distant, I reach out. You know, I'm checking in. You know, I'm really that. But the key is I don't expect that from my friends. And the thing is, because I learned a long time ago, you cannot expect you out of other people. And when you start expecting you out of other people, that's when you're setting yourself up for that's where you're setting yourself up for disappointment and heartbreaks and heartache, because you're expecting people to reciprocate what you're giving and what you're dishing out. But people aren't made like that. But when I say I don't think friendships should be hard, I don't think friendships should be hard because, again, like I stated, all it takes is a conversation. All we got to do is sit down and have a conversation about whatever the issue is and whatever the disagreement is, or just assuming, especially when it's a situation to where you will have two friends who may not get along with each other, but then you get along with both of those. And then when they start in their mind to tell you that they feel that you're less than loyal because you're still talking to her and I don't talk to her anymore and we're not friends. I don't like being put into situations to where you're forcing me to choose to go a direction that you want me to go. That's not an expectation that I would have out of anybody that I consider a friend. I wouldn't even want you to do it for me. I don't want a friend to have to tell me, well, because I'm not cool with her, you got to stop being cool with this person. I don't do that. I have my own mind. I do the things that I do because I'm me, and you do the things that you do because you are you. I don't like being put in that situation because I know how to remain neutral in my friendships. I don't allow either party to come and talk to me about the other party, especially if y'all can't talk to each other, because I'm not and my conversation is always, well, go talk to her. Set aside some time to where y'all can try to talk and hash out whatever differences you have. But don't put an expectation on me with this whole blind loyalty that you feel like everything you say, I'm just going to jump on the bandwagon and agree to it. I feel like I feel like I'm less than a good friend if I'm not holding you accountable when I see that you are doing or saying things wrong. I don't want yes friends in my corner. I want people who are going to hold me accountable for the things that I'm going through or the behavior that I'm portraying. If I can't get that out of my friends, what are we doing? Especially at our big age. And I say that all the time. At our big age, friendship should not be hard. Friendship should not be hard. My grandmother used to always tell me, you need four friends in your life. You need a friend that can pray. You need a prayer warrior as your friend. They can cover you when you can't cover yourself. You need a truth teller, the friend that's going to love you enough to be honest with you and they're going to hold you accountable, whether you like it or not. You need an encourager, a friend that is going to encourage you when she notices that you're weary and speak life into you when she see that you're going through some of the toughest times in your life. You need a purpose partner, somebody that understands your calling and they can cheer you on, and somebody and they're not sitting back side eyeing you and looking at you all kinds of ways because they're actually jealous of your gifts and the things that you have going for yourself. You really, really need to evaluate your friend circles just as much as you need to evaluate these men that we're dating around here. Friendship shouldn't be hard, right, Teresa? They should not be hard. Sharon said, that's me, just carefree with my friends. Absolutely. And the thing is, I hear a lot of people, and I know a lot of times we've heard this slogan, no new friends. When people have their friend groups, they don't want to allow any new friendships inside the circle. They want to be closed off. But I am a living witness at my big age that new friends are great additions to what you already have and who you already are. I wouldn't ever shut myself off to accepting or welcoming new friendships because I feel like everybody has a season in your life, and some seasons expire, especially with friendships. And that's why we have to get in the habit of making sure we're not just holding on to friendships that no longer serve us because of the history that we've spent together. The same things that go with these dying relationships and dying marriages that we tend to over hold on to when we should have let them go a long time ago. The same rules apply when it comes to friendships, when it comes to sisterhood and building community, with like-minded women. And that's always the key. Like-minded women. You have to make sure that the table that you're sitting in is actually the table you should be feasting at, because not all tables were meant for you to sit at. Not all groups of friends were made for you to be a part of, because if it's not getting or adding any value to me, and if it's not pushing me to grow, to do better, and to be better, that's not my circle. That's not the circle of friends that I want to be around. And you know what? And walking away from those friendships does not mean I dislike or hate or want to see them do bad. It just means that my season with them is up as well as their season with me is up. The lessons that I was able to learn during the tenure of those relationships, those lessons will be lessons that I can carry on with me for a lifetime. The memories that we created, I'll always be able to look back on those memories and remember the good times, right? Because just because you're closing one door and closing one chapter does not mean everything was all bad. There are some good that were in those relationships and in those friendships. Excuse me. So everything wasn't all bad, but sometimes you just get to a point to where you say enough is enough, and it's really time for me to walk away and to just separate myself from this person or these people. You just really have to do what's best for you mentally, because when you're just showing up, and when friendships start to feel like work, and when I say work, I'm talking about, when you pulling up to your job sometimes in the morning, especially a job that you probably been ready to walk away from for a long time. And I remember me myself, it happened to me before. I would just sit in the parking lot and just woosah before I would go clock in the mornings, because that's just how much I disliked going into the building and going to this job every day. And when friendships start to feel like that, like with every interaction, when I know I got to show up to where this friendship circle is going to be, and I have to woosah before I go sit at the table, and I have to kind of woosah when I come back, it's time for me to separate myself from that, because now it's taking more out of me than it is pouring into me. So now it's time for me to exit stage left. And that's not always a bad thing, because sometimes some of these friendships will drain every ounce of energy that you could, because some people are just whiners. Some people want everything the way they want it to be. And then you also have those friends that are complicit with the behavior, but they won't call the other individual out on it. You know how some people just go along to get along? I ain't gonna say nothing because that's just how she is. That's how she is. Well, you know what? I'm not going to just continue going along with it for the sake of that's just how she is. Because just because that's how the person is does not mean it's right. So if none of us can call the individual out on the behavior, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? There is no growth in that, because, sometimes because that's who she is, and because she hasn't been held accountable for her actions, she thinks it's right. A lot of times when you continue, that's just like kids, when you continue to let them get away with doing things or saying things and you're not correcting them, eventually after they've done it for so long, they're going to grow into thinking that it's right, right? So at some point, they have to be held accountable. Same rule apply for friendships. Same rule apply. Danya says, I feel like that has been my problem, expecting me out of my friends. And and we tend to do that. And our little feelings just be hurt because we be sitting up thinking like, well, why would she do that to me? Because I would have never done that. Or I would have never said that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we do, and that's how we set ourselves up for failure and disappointment, because we're always looking for us in other people. And it shouldn't be, because again, especially giving the temperature in society today, friendships that are hard and difficult today, I am walking away. Do you hear me? And again, I love community when it comes to women. I love sisterhood. I am a champion for sisterhood, and, being a part of sisterhoods and gathering as women and being able to rally behind and support each other. I love that. I love that. But I also don't believe in staying in sister circles that do not serve me. If it don't feel right, walk away. You don't have to stay in it. And again, forget the history, forget the tenure that you've had with said individual or group. When it's time to walk away, walk away. And you don't owe an explanation. You don't owe an explanation. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Deborah said, I had to learn that, not to expect me out of other people. And that is a hard lesson to learn. You hear me? That's a hard lesson to learn. Hey, sis. Hey, let's be clear. Thanks for joining, sis. I appreciate you for being here. Chit Chat says, at this stage in my life, I don't have the patience for any hard relationships or friendships. Too grown for that. Absolutely. I totally agree. And that's exactly where I am today. I don't have time for hard relationships at all. I don't have time for it. Especially like you said, at this stage in our lives and all of the things that, we've been through. Because a lot of times, and see, and I'm not that friend. I'm not a stay in your face friend. I'm not a always got to be connected type friend. My two best friends still live back home in Mississippi. We don't see each other a lot because of distance. They'll see me when I go there or they come here to visit me. And we don't talk on the phone every day. You know why? Because we have lives and life be lifing sometimes for a lot of us all the time. And we understand that we won't be able to talk every day. But I can guarantee you, when it's milestone celebrations like birthdays, anniversaries, any of that, holidays, we hit each other up and our conversations move as just like we just got off the phone months ago. We pick up right where we start. It's none of that funny acting stuff to where, girl, I ain't heard from you in 3 months. Oh, you got new friends and we don't hear from you or you don't call. It's not hard. It's we understand. But when we talk to each other, it's about us catching up. It's about us making sure everybody's okay. How's the family? How are you? But we know, even though we don't talk every day, I know without a doubt, if I ever needed anything, I could still pick up the phone and call and ask them for it, and I would have it without a doubt, and vice versa, without a doubt. And we're friends that don't talk every day, but I have relationships where people that I see that may be in my own city and they require so much time, so much attention. Don't think that you should be able to go start friendships somewhere else. Like, this is the only friend group you should have. You shouldn't have other friend groups. And if you do, I feel a way about it. That's so high school to me. I didn't even do that in high school. To be quite honest, I had more guy friends in high school than I had female friends because I didn't do that. I don't do that catty and petty. And I do not like a mean girl. I cannot stand mean girl mentality. That does not work for me. I don't like when you are a mean girl and you try to force people to like what you like and dislike what you don't like, or will feel a certain kind of way and question my loyalty because I didn't behave or react in a manner that you wanted me to. That's what I don't like. And that's what I consider friends being hard. Friendships shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't. Teresa says, chit chat, neither do I. We are way too old for that. Girl, way too old. Yes, Teresa, hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. Brittany Janae says, I have a praying friend, which is my bestie, and I have another friend that's going to tell me the truth, whether I like it or not. And those are some good friends. And those are the kind of friends that we need in our lives. Those are the kind of friends that we need in our lives. And it shouldn't be hard. It really shouldn't. We are grown. We're grown women. We're supposed to be able to have conversations and say what we say without being scrutinized or criticized. Or if I come, you acting away, you being standoffish because you saw me out posting pictures with some new friends that I had, and you mad because you didn't get an invitation. And let me say this. You don't have to be invited to everything. I don't care how long we've been friends. You can have a birthday party and you can post your pictures all over social media that y'all were kicking it and you didn't invite me. I promise you, I will not feel a way about it. Because you know what? You invite who you want to invite to whatever you're having and whatever celebration and whatever you're doing in your life. You are not obligated to invite me to everything. And I'm not the friend that's going to text you and say, oh, I saw you were out with your other friends, but you couldn't invite me. Girl, I am never self-inviting myself to nothing. Do you hear me? I am never self-inviting myself to anything because you invited who you wanted to be there. And I will not feel away. I'm the type of person that'll hop right up under that comment and say, oh, y'all were cute. Look like y'all had fun. And that's where it stays. I'm not texting you behind the scenes or the next time we see each other, I'm bringing it up because I feel a certain kind of way. Girl, we grown. I'm not your only friend. I'm not the be all end all. You can have whoever you want to be a part of your life in your friend circles. You're not just obligated to stick to this same, because I don't do cliques. I don't do cliques. I'm not a cliquish type individual. I never have, especially mean girl cliques. I definitely ain't doing. I love sisterhood, but I don't do cliques. I don't do that. I'm ride or dying and whatever I ain't doing that, because if you wrong, you wrong. And I ain't riding with you when you're wrong. I'm on the side of right. And that's even with my family members, like it or love it. I'm on the side of right. If you're doing something wrong, I'm going to say you're doing something wrong. I'm not going to just say what you want to hear just to appease you and not hurt your feelings. If you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing or saying something that you shouldn't be saying, I'm going to hold you accountable. And I don't want to hear that, well, as my friend, you should do this. And as my friend, you should have told. Well, now, see, this is where we start talking about these friendship expectations. When did these expectations get set? Because I don't remember being a part of the whole conversation when you were setting these expectations as to when, if you're going to be my friend, you got to do this, you got to do that, you can't do this. When did those expectations get set? Because a lot of times people make up these expectations in their head. A lot of people make up their expectations of what loyalty looks for them. And what I've learned is loyalty looks totally different to everybody. Loyalty does not mean the same and does not look the same per person. Everybody has their own unique understanding as to what loyalty means to them when it comes to their friendships and their relationships. And you cannot expect me to just automatically assume that you are going to behave in a way that I would behave just because this is the way I do it. That's where the lines get blurred. That's where the disagreements come in at, because now we're going back and forth with you saying, well, as my friend, you should have told me this. And I'm looking at you like, well, as my friend, I would have never expected you to do that. Nor would I want you to expect me to do that. I believe firmly in treating people the way I want to be treated. I am not going to expect anything out of you that I know in turn, I wouldn't in turn do myself for you. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do things that I don't want you to do to me. And I've always been, and that's in relationships, friendships, or whatever the case may be. I'm never going to expect something out of you that I'm not willing to put up for you. And if I know that I wouldn't want to do it for you, I definitely ain't expecting you to do it for me. And it is what it is. Let's be clear, said so true. I had to end a 30-year friendship. My heart was and is broken, but it had to be done. Oh my gosh, that's a long time, sis. A long time. And my heart goes out to you because I was saying to one of my other friends, you mourn friendships as well. You go through a process of grieving friendships, especially when it's been that long. My friendship was over 16 years, the friendship that I had to dissolve. And I actually did go through a process of mourning it. But just like any other thing, you always, especially me, I always want to go back and reevaluate, my part in it, and trying to come into agreement with what role did I play in the dissolution of the relationship. Did I do something, or did I, disrespect this person in a way? Like, what did I miss about me? Because a lot of times we spend times trying to go back and forth about what the person did to us. But what we need to do is start with ourselves first. Did I do something that person could have taken the wrong way? And if it's something that I know, and once I do that and I know that I didn't do anything to purposely hurt you or anything like that, I'm standing on business when it comes to the way I feel about it, because I didn't do anything. You just took it that way. And I can't help you took it the way you took it. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going that I'm going to change my stance on what I did. My stance is what it is. So we just have to be careful. We have to make sure. And to you, let's be clear. Her season was just up. Her season was up, and that's what I had to reason with myself. That's what I had to tell myself, is that the season was just up. And people come into our lives for reasons, seasons, and some lifetime. And her season was just up. And just like the person that was in my life, her season was just up. And I can't say that we didn't have fun memories throughout the tenure of the relationship, but the season was up. And a lot of times it's because God is getting ready to push you into a new season and into a new space. And we can't take a lot of these old people with us. Sometimes He is making room for other things that He has on the forefront for you. And we can't take people with us. Sometimes and all the time, when He closes one door, He always open another one for something else. And that means that He has something else and another assignment ready for you. And that person couldn't go with you. And that's the way we have to look at it, and not stay stuck in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And, of course, we mourn the loss of those friendships. But guess what? Just how you had, the same way you had that one, He'll open the door for you to meet other people and form new friendships and relationships with other women. And I just had to ask myself, like, yeah, we had a long standing relationship, but what value did you have? Like, what did you actually learn from this person? What did this person did this person actually push you to grow? What were the interactions? And when you ask yourself those questions and you stop to think about it, well, you know what? She really didn't even push me to do anything, because I was who I was. Before I met her, I didn't really learn anything. Was there anything that this person actually did or said that really inspired you to do better and be better? And that's how we have to look at it, like a lot of times. And that too will help you get over that heartbreak a lot easier, because when you look back on it, and my situation was, when I started to like reevaluate the situation with myself and that person, she was one of them little slicksters that would be making sly remarks that you really wouldn't pay attention to when you think we're quote unquote friends. But it's usually after the relationship has dissolved and you start to go back down memory lane and start thinking about some of the things that was said. Like, you've been throwing darts all along, but I just wasn't picking up on it. And you know why? Because I honestly thought you were my friend. I thought we were friends. So, and because I would not have done that to you, I was missing it because I didn't expect it, because I thought you were my friend. But a lot of times we have to pay attention to these little slick remarks that come out during jokes and drinks, because they really be telling the truth about how they really feel. And so I had to go back, and I was thinking, because with anything and with anybody, I always pray and I say, God, if this person is not meant to be a part of my life, please show me and remove this person out of my life. And I will say this: if you ask, be prepared for what He show you, because a lot of times you won't move because, well, but that's my friend, but he red flags knocking you all upside the head. But because it's my friend, it's my friend, it's my friend, and I would never do that to my friend. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times He's already shown you, well, this ain't your friend. You shouldn't be sitting at the table with this person. You shouldn't be conversing with this person. This person does not have your best interest at heart. Whole time this person wants your life. Whole time this person want what you have. Whole time this person hating on you. Who is this person when you're not there? What is this person saying about you behind your back? Do you think that this person is upholding you in your absence? No. And when you really start praying about it, and He opened it up and started showing it to you, girl, my mouth dropped. You hear me? My mouth dropped, because I was not expecting that. I was not expecting it. And I'm sitting here like, whole time I thought we were cool. The whole time I thought we were cool, but you envied me. You had a secret envy for me that I never knew you had. That's how some of these people will be. So when people be using this quote unquote friend term lightly, you need to be careful and understand what is the meaning of a friend to you. What does friendship actually mean to you? And just because you're their friend does not mean that they are your friend. So we have to get better at making sure we are paying attention to reading the room. We got to pay attention to the conversations that's going on at the table in the absence of other so-called friends. And then you can just imagine what the conversation is like when you're not at the table. Pay attention. I promise you, you'll start seeing stuff. Danya said, I don't have a lot of friends. I have a big family and I have a problem trusting people. That has always been a challenge for me. Um, I can't really say I have a problem trusting people, but I am very observant, Danya. Um I just pay attention to the things that you say when people are not around. I pay attention to how you treat people. And I just pay attention to, like, I pay attention to facial expressions. I pay attention to your demeanor. Like, and people tell me all the time, like, you're so quiet. And I'm like, no, I'm just listening. I'm observing. I'm paying attention. And you can kind of feel the energy of people, and or you can listen in on some of the conversations and be like, and she's not anybody that I would ever call a friend. You just really have to pay attention. And, and it's easy for us to distrust people because we've been hurt so much. And we start to just not trust people. And we tend to let one or a few people cause us to not trust anybody because we've been hurt so much by people, and we start to put that guard up and we'll put up that wall and we won't allow anybody else in. But listen, I am a living witness that at my big age, you still can run across some ladies that can be amazing friends and sisters to you. Look at the majority of us that's here and in the cutie crew. We have never met each other personally at all, but we have formed an amazing sisterhood from just sitting behind our computers and just conversing with each other the last couple of years. We have formed some amazing relationships with each other. And and a lot of people, this is all they have. They don't have, like, friendships and sister circles like in their everyday lives at home. So many people have told me, like, I don't even have friends. I don't kick it with nobody like that. But I promise you, if you open yourself up and just allow yourself to get close enough to form relationships with people. I remember I met a lady, one of my friends, I met in the shoe store. We was just in the shoe store looking at shoes, and she complimented the shoe that I had in my hand. And I started telling her why I was getting the shoe. We was sitting in the shoe department just having a conversation, and we have been friends ever since. And I think that was back in 2015 or 16. Um, just conversation over shoes. And you would just really be surprised. You would really be surprised. Teresa says, usually when one person hurts you, you have problems trusting. That's to Danya. I totally agree. Sharon said, you better say it, Pink Diva. I know that's right, sis. Teresa said, I don't have to accept them just because that's who they are. Absolutely. You do not have to accept them just because that's who they are. Danya says, you're absolutely right, Teresa. I have felt more comfortable with you ladies that I have never met. I am appreciative of this community, and we are appreciative of you too, sis. We are appreciative of you and each one of you that are here. It has been an amazing journey, an amazing time we've had building relationship and our bond with building our sisterhood. That's what it's all about. And y'all know I shouted to the rooftop, sisterhood, sisterhood, sisterhood. And you go where you are appreciated, and you can feel the love with people who say that they are your friends. When you are around them, you can feel the energy from people that where okay, I know she gonna hold me down. Even if I'm there or not, I know she's going to hold me down. um let me see. Hold on one second, y'all. Thanks, sis. Sis just sent me a text message about what we're talking about. She sent me a post that someone sent about no new friends. And this person said, I'm overjoyed with gratitude to God for blessing me with the ability to connect with people and for Him opening my heart to change from the whole no new friends attitude. I'm loving those that's loving me, and it's a beautiful feeling. Not forcing a thing with anyone at this stage in my life. I am truly my mama's child. Thank you for that, sis. And that is exactly what I'm saying. Open yourself up to new relationships and friendships with people, because we tend to close ourselves out and we'll find ourselves lonely and saying, and I get so disheartened every time I hear women say, well, I don't have any friends. And I was like, well, why? I was like, why don't you have friends? And I'm a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl. I'm like, I'll be your friend. But it really is disheartening to hear people say, as hear women say, that they don't have friends. And I'm like, well, let me help you get some friends. Like, what do you like to do? You got to start putting yourself in places to where good friends will be. Like, and if you are a good friend, you can draw good friends, because people can pick up on your energy. People can, if you're the type of person to where everybody loves to be around you, you can draw good friends. Just make sure you're paying attention to, just because they love to be around you don't mean that they have your best interest at heart. Now, we do have to, be mindful. However, I do believe that there are some amazing women out there that is ready and willing to connect with each of you, and to form lasting relationships, because we'll close ourselves off. And I promise you, when you close yourself off, you cheating yourself out of opportunities to build amazing relationships. And we should always have, it is so fun having girlfriends. I mean, you can travel together, y'all can pray together, y'all can encourage each other, just hang out and do things. Talk on the phone. If you're not local, you don't have to actually be, your friend doesn't have to actually just be local to you. You can have distant friends and distant pen pals, or whatever you want to call it. But it is an amazing feeling to have women who love and support you in your life the same way you love and support them. That is an amazing, like, sisterhood is so big for me. I don't know what I would do without my sisters, and that includes you all. I wouldn't know what to do with myself without my sister circles. I love my girls. I love my girls, and we have fun. We create memories, and we support each other. We love on each other. And listen, and can't nobody come to me and say anything negative, not about me and mine. And that's just how it is. But it is some amazing friends out there. You just got to open yourself up to those. And God, just pray and ask God. He'll send the right people to you. He do it all the time. Teresa says, Danya, we have a large sisterhood in these groups, but even still, you see the ones who connect. The others are passing through, and that's fine. But the ones God want to connect are connected. Amen. I couldn't have said that better. I couldn't have said that any better. Sis says you have to be okay with goodbye. Life is too short. You absolutely have to. And it's a process. It's not easy. It's a task, because I definitely had to, I had my moments. I was going back and forth. And sis, I was talking to her, and I was like, girl, listen, I'm about to be done. And I stayed a little longer. And I was like, girl, I'm about to be done. She said, I thought you said, I said, I did. But when you start going back and looking at the history and looking at how long you've been together, and you just sitting there like, but that's a long time to just throw away. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not a quitter. I don't quit stuff. I don't quit. So I'm staying a little longer and staying a little longer. And then, at some point you got to wake up and smell the roses, right? You got to wake up and look at the reality. We talking about friendships, the expectations versus the reality. We have to look at the reality of it. And you grow apart from friendships just like you grow apart from marriages, in any relationship. You grow apart, and that's absolutely okay. It's absolutely okay to grow apart. Danya says, Teresa, yes, and I love you ladies for accepting me and supporting me and praying for me all the time and anytime, sis, all the time. Chit Chat says, that's my BFF and I. It could be months. And as soon as we say hello, it's like we spoke the night before. Absolutely. Girl, and get right back into laughing and talking about, you remember that time we did this? And you remember that time we went, it's like never missed a beat. Never missed a beat. And that's how easy friendships should be. We are there to support each other through hard times, through grief, through anything that we're challenges that we're going through in our lives. That's what friends are there for. And if I need you, you should be there for me. And if you need me, I should equally be there for you. That's what friendship is all about. Friendship is not about all this high school girly girl stuff that, they did in high school, because I didn't do it, because I didn't kick it with girls like that. But it's not about that type of stuff. And if we're still arguing over friendships, and we're still arguing over what you should have, should not have done, and we talked about communication. I can't read your mind. If it's something that you are expecting from me and you feel that I'm not doing that or being that for you, have a conversation with me. Don't just walk around with the attitude about it. Like, have a conversation, a grown woman conversation, and say, you said this when we were together and it made me feel this way. Well, let's talk about your feelings and let's talk about how it made you feel, because I can't negate the fact that what I said may have made you feel a certain kind of way. But if my stance on what I said is my stance, it is. I can apologize that it made you feel a way, but that does not mean that I didn't mean what I said. So, and a lot of times it's, some of these friendships just have so many grievances. Every time you turn around, it's something. Every time, like, you darned if you do and darned if you don't. Every single time. You're like, okay, girl, you already know when you sit at the table, it's about to be a problem. It's about to be an issue. It's about to be, you got a grievance about something. Those kind of people, I can't do. I can't do. It's time out. I can't do that. Teresa says, me and my bestie go months without talking. And when we do, we pick up right where we left. Right where we left off, like we've been talking every day. Absolutely. That's how it's supposed to be. Let's Be Clear says, I have a friend in Arizona. When we catch up, we are on the phone for like 5-6 hours all the time, sis. All the time, and time just fly by. Teresa said, that's so childish. Sometimes I be praying they don't. Girl, listen, I'm like, I wouldn't have came if you invited me. And and that's one thing that I had to learn how to do with my friendships. I had to learn how to start saying no. I would go out of my way to make sure I showed up for every single thing that they invited me to. I was present, I was active, and I had to learn, like, you know what? I'm not going to burn myself out, because if you think I'm not a good friend just because I couldn't come to your little birthday party, then I'm just not a good friend, because I can't make everything. And you shouldn't expect me to make everything. Just like I'm not expecting you to make everything that I invite you to. And the fact that we got to have a whole disagreement because I didn't show up to a birthday party, or you invited me out to dinner, or whatever the case may be, I can't do that. Now, that's super childish. But I had to learn how to stop being a people pleaser, because I never want to hurt people's feelings, and I never want to, make people feel bad. I'm just an empath like that. But I had to learn as well, like, who caring for you while you caring for them? Because are they caring about your feelings? You can't be everywhere all the time. And if you tired and don't feel like going, girl, don't go. And I had to learn to start pulling out of stuff. And like, to don't even invite me, because I ain't coming even if you invite me. Or since you didn't invite me, I'm glad you didn't, because I didn't want to come anyway. So we got to get out of the whole people pleasing thing just to keep these friendships. Girl, if they want to walk away, let them walk away. Because obviously you weren't my friend anyway. And if you setting these expectations and you thinking that if you talk to her, then we can't be friends. Girl, bye. Goodbye. Good riddance. Because that's the one thing that I had, girl, I have a problem being told what to do. That is a pet peeve of mine. Don't try to tell me who I can talk to. Don't try to tell me what I can and cannot do, because you're not the boss of me. That's not how this goes. I got my own mind and I make my own decisions. And we grown. Sis said, I'm so thankful for my friends because, child, we do not go through this type of stuff at this big old age. No, ma'am. I know that's right. I know that's right. And the ones that are your friends, no, ma'am, we don't go through that kind of stuff because we grown. Like you say, we grown. But those other ones who feel like they got something to prove and like it's a popularity contest, girl, miss me with that because we ain't doing that one. We ain't doing that one. Hey, Sammy. Sammy says, hey, Pink Table Topics in chat, listening from the bushes while working. Thanks for listening in, sis. We appreciate you for stopping by. Yes, sis, God will reveal. He definitely will reveal. Okay, that was sis telling me to read the text. Danya says, Chit Chat, I feel the same. You were the first channel that I had ever wanted to become a member. I feel like we are family. Love you, sis. Yes, she was, Danya. She was my first one too, girl. And we've been locked and loaded ever since, and she ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. Oh, sis, you said that was you, not a reshare. Okay. Oh, that was you. I didn't see your picture on there. I thought that was a post. Teresa says, Teresa says, Danya, I think that everyone who came to Chit Chat's page stumbled over here the same way. I just felt so genuine and family-like on her. She did, didn't she, Teresa? Girl, that's where we all found each other. Sis said, I posted that about the Cutie Crew to my personal Facebook friends and family over the weekend. Got emotional about this upcoming Cutie Crew vacate. Girl, I'm so excited. I am so excited. She said I was in my feelings about the Cutie Crew. Oh, sis. She been showing out. Get somewhere and sat down. Danya said, Chit Chat, that was something I needed to hear. Thanks for sharing. Yes, Bridget J. Bridget says, I love this sister circle. We love you back, sis. Chit Chat says, you're welcome, Danya. I was definitely that no new friends type of girl. And then God said, hold up, wait a minute. I know that's right. Don't shut yourself off so quick. Teresa says, Chit Chat, well, you know how we feel about you. The sister circle that is formed usually defines the leader. If you got a loving leader, you attract loving ladies. Amen, amen, amen. I totally agree, sis. Totally agree. If you're a messy leader, you attract messy ladies all the time. And guess what? We don't do what? Mess and drama. No, ma'am, Pam. Keep it over there. Keep it where you're at. Sis says, Teresa, life is not perfect and neither are people. The beauty is when you open yourself up to the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, SKR. Security is in the house. Hey, sis. Thanks for joining. Sis says, whoo, that sounds draining. Very draining, ain't it? Girl, and it shouldn't be hard. Bridget J says, I agree. I have learned to say no. So many family members have used me, but no more. I mean, no more, sis. No more. Look at sis. Y'all get me emotional. Don't be getting emotional over there. Talking about them woe myself out. I know you have. Sit down. She been here, there, and everywhere, child. Let's be clear says YouTube crash. I had to uninstall and install. I had to resubscribe to you, Pink Diva. Check your subscriptions. I surely will, sis. Thanks so much. You know, YouTube and StreamYard has been acting weird and funny lately. Weird and funny. Let me share my screen so we can get into this video clip I wanted you all to see. So we can discuss. Let me add it to the stage. Okay, can y'all see it? Let me turn my volume up so y'all can hear it. And then I'm gonna click play.
Yo, this is why I don't make friends. Like, I should not be crying because you guys. So I had told my two friends, right? I was like, okay, I think on Thursday or something, or like Thursday, Friday or something. I was like, let's go get matcha, and then we'll go to the game on Monday. I had 3 free tickets, and then they were like, okay, we're on the phone today, like an hour ago, 30 minutes ago. And mind you, I was gonna get the matcha, y'all. I was gonna purchase the matcha, but I was on the phone with them 30 minutes ago. I was like, I don't want matcha because I'm probably gonna get banana pudding or like some food or drink from the game, but I'll still go with you guys and get you guys matcha. And you guys, why did they go and get matcha without me and they didn't tell me? So I'm like, how far are you? And mind you, their house is like 7 minutes away from my house. And they're like, we took the wrong exit. And I'm like, it doesn't take the freeway to get to my house. You just drive straight down and you're at my house. And then they wouldn't, first of all, they were just like, oh, we missed the exit. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, where are you guys at? They're just like, oh, we're 20 minutes away, we just missed the exit. Mind you, they're not telling me why they're 20 minutes away. So then I'm like, be for real, like, where are you guys at? And they're like, we went to go get matcha. And mind you, like, it has not, fuck the matcha, I don't care about the matcha. It's the fact that I'm the one that came up with this, like, us to hang out, and then you guys exclude me, and then you guys want to go to the game. Like, no, that's not the way it works. It's like you purposely excluded me, and this isn't the first time this happened. And like, like, I'm so sad. Like, fuck the matcha. Like, I'm sad because my makeup is ruined, but like the game is until another hour, so I'm gonna redo my makeup and then just go to the game by myself. I try to ask my sister, but she has work. But y'all, this is why I don't make friends. Like, I'm literally so nice, you guys. I'm literally so nice, and I'm so kind. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll spend money on people, I'll buy shit for them, and I just don't care about none of that. But it's like, why exclude me out of part of the day when I'm the one that brought that idea? Like, like, you just took my idea and ran with it. It's like, it has nothing to do with that. And it's the fact that they said, oh, we didn't intentionally exclude you out. We're on the phone on FaceTime talking about doing what we're about to do, and y'all decide to text each other on the side and then go do it without me. Like, you get what I'm saying? It would be different if that was the plan, for the initial plan, but that wasn't the initial plan. And this is why, like, I can never find a friend that's like me. This is why I stay quiet. This is why it's very hard for me to open up. Like, I don't open up to people, you guys. This is why. It's because, like, I don't know. It's like I don't like being left out, and then when I become close with people, they leave me out. And I was just crying on the phone to my sister. I wasn't crying on the phone to them because, like, I'm not gonna do that. It has nothing to do with the matcha. It has nothing to do with the drink. It has to do with the principle. Like, I'm the one that came up with this idea. I'm the one that invited you guys to the game. But no, you guys want to go do the first part by yourself, and then the second part, you guys think I'm gonna take you guys to the game. No, I have 3 tickets. I'm gonna sit in that seat by myself, and I'm gonna enjoy the game. But yeah, uh-uh. I'm just tired. Like, this is why I stay to myself, you guys. Like, I'm just gonna go enjoy the game. But look at my Fernando Tati shirt, and then my hat. I don't know where my hat is right now, but you guys, you think I still look good? You think I have to wipe my face off or just fix? No, I have to wipe the face off. Oh, my boogies. But yeah, you guys. I cannot wait for the day that God blesses me with a friend for me.
All right. Let me remove her from the screen. Let me turn this volume down. So, what did y'all think about that video? SKR said, bless her heart. The only word that comes to mind. Sis says she's cute as a button. I hope she knows her worth and then add text to the next friend. I know that's right. And I kind of I feel like those friends were using her because she said, I always do nice things. I'm the one that had the tickets for the games and I invited them. So I felt like there was some sneaky stuff going on behind the scenes and they were excluding her. And like she said, it wasn't that She said she didn't want the matcha, did not mean she didn't want to go with them to get the matcha. Like they could still get it. I just don't want any because I'm going to eat other stuff when I get to the game. So the fact that they actually went behind her back and excluded her from what was originally her plans anyway, that just showed that she's not their friend. They're not her friends, rather. She was being better friends to them than they were being to her. So definitely these are the kind of friends you don't want to be a part of your life. Yes, Bridget J, they did her wrong. Sis says, but take it as a learning lesson. It may hurt, but when people show you who they are, believe it. Absolutely. When people show you who they are, believe it the first time. Let's Be Clear says, yes, I take myself out all the time. You have to learn to enjoy being by yourself. You do. You really do. You have to learn how to enjoy being by yourself. Because if you don't like being by yourself with yourself, what makes you think other people are going to enjoy being with you? So definitely learn how to be by yourself. What did Sammy say? Did I miss Sammy's? Yeah. Sammy says, this has been me. They plan stuff and exclude me only to see them posting on Instagram. Absolutely. Right, Teresa. Girl, go by yourself. Meet you some friends at the game. Absolutely. That's horrible, Sammy, because good night, Danya. Thank you for joining, sis. We appreciate you. I'm sure you at work. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, Bridget J, they did her wrong. Yeah, go find you some new friends. They were not for her. And listen, don't travel out of the country with those kind of friends for sure. So definitely make sure you find your tribe. And when you find your tribe, you will feel it. You will see it and you will know that it's your tribe. Stop trying to fit in where people don't want you to be. Stop trying to pull your chair up to tables that people don't want you feasting at. Because you can sense it, because this is the type of little sneaky stuff that they do. They do this little sneaky stuff behind the scenes. And, and when you catch on to it, that's when it becomes the problem. That's when it becomes a problem. Now, when she cut them off, it's going to be a problem. Let me see. Samantha says Chit Chat has been a horrible experience for a while, and the past year was a really tough time for me. That's why I'm so excited for this trip. I decided to do things on my own. Yes, absolutely. And we're going to have fun, sis. That's what this trip is for. This trip is for us to leave social media and whatever else drama and other folks, it's whatever is going on in our lives, is for us to leave it at home. We are coming together and have a good time, to have fun. We don't care what's going on social media, YouTube. We ain't talking about none of that stuff. We are embracing the moment, enjoying the sisterhood in our time, and making and creating memories that we'll be able to carry back home with us after this trip is over. That's what it's all about. It's about us laughing, having fun, and enjoying the company of each other. That's what it's all about. So leave whatever those troubles are at home. We're going to have us a good old time on our cutie crew vacation, and it'll be here when we get back. But we're not going to worry about it and think about it on our trip. We're going to have us an amazing time, and I'm so excited. Sis says, good for you, Samantha, and many more to come. You are so loved and should feel that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, Sharon, they were definitely using her for sure. SKR say, I see it differently. Desperate. You know what, SKR? There were so many pieces that I pulled from this video. Yes, I did see the part of, them being sneaky and all of that kind of stuff. But then too, I'm wondering if she's one of those needy friends. You know what I'm saying? Some friends are needy and very clingy, and some friends don't or can't accept that you're doing things without them. Like, you need to include me on all of the plans, like I was just talking about. I don't have to be included on everything, and I'm not going to feel a way about it. So I'm wondering also if she's that type of person to where, and and then when she said, now I told them I didn't want to go get matcha, but they decided to go get matcha without me. So maybe, just maybe, playing devil's advocate here, what if they just say, well, since she don't want to get matcha, we'll just go get matcha and we'll connect with her at the game since she didn't want to get matcha. So I kind of was looking at it that way as well. So maybe, just maybe, playing devil's advocate, they didn't purposely include her. Maybe they misunderstood her saying she didn't want matcha for I don't want to go get matcha. So they say, well, we'll just go get matcha and we'll connect with her later. So I kind of can see that as well. SKR. Let's be clear, said, that was sad. I felt that pain that has happened to me. They are not her friends. Pick up your broken heart. I promise you, God will restore it all and more. Absolutely. For sure. Absolutely. Chit Chat says, whew, let's be clear. Yes, sis, this period after my divorce has made me be really in love with myself. Self-care, self-time, just self. Child, because she be shopping. You hear me? Sis be getting it in. Negro who? Sis be outside. And I love that for her. I be like, girl, sit down. Where you at now? But I love that for her. Yes, sis. Yes. Keep doing you, boo, for sure. Let's be clear, says SKR, understand your point of view. People pleasing may appear to be desperate. She just wanted to be included. I get that. She wanted to be included, but a lot of times she got to understand that she ain't gonna be included in everything as well. SKR says she said some major clues that turned people away. She did, because it did kind of seem like she was a bit clingy, and I suggested, especially when she said, well, it was my idea and they decided to do it without me and it was my idea. But I think if there was a little bit more clear communication, they would have understood her saying, even though I'm not going to get matcha, I still want to come with you all to get matcha. Because how was it your idea to go get matcha, but then say, I don't want matcha? So what was the point in going or making the plan to go if you didn't want it? So it's easy to misconstrue what she said. And I think that's what happened. And I think they should have, just had a conversation to kind of clear it up. Sis said, yes, leave it, child. It's our time. I know that's right. SKR said, sometimes you can be trying so hard that you turn people off and away. Yes, for sure. Sis said she was definitely seeking validation at the end. Yes, she was. She sure was. SKR said, I'm not meaning desperate in a mean way, but trying too hard, and it frustrates people sometimes. Yes, I totally agree. It comes off as a bit pushy. I understand what you're saying. I know, Bridget, I can't either. Girl, those needy friends are draining. Or it's always, we need to talk, or it's always a clarification. You need to clarify something, or, well, I thought you said this, or since you didn't respond to my text message, girl, I was busy. I'm not going to always be able to respond right away, and not on your terms anyway. So those kind of friends are just ones that, no ma'am. SKR said she offered to pay. She planned everything and didn't consider what they wanted to do. That's a good point. Sis said, oh, she said she didn't want matcha. Well, child, what's the issue? Yes, she did. She said, I didn't want matcha, but that didn't mean I didn't want to go with them to get matcha. So that meant for them, well, since you don't want it, we'll just go get it, and then we'll connect with you at the game. So again, it was one of those, kind of came off as if she was a bit spoiled. Well, it was my plans and they went without me. So could they not have gone without you when you said that you didn't want it? So it was like, well, there's no use in her going if she didn't want it. So I kind of think that her feelings were hurt for sure. So I'm not negating the fact that she seemed that her feelings were hurt, but she kind of come off as one of those needy friends, and it was my idea. I got the tickets, so I'm going by my. So it kind of seemed like she being petty now. Which again, if they was doing some shisty stuff, you wouldn't be going to the game on my dime either. But if it's that little petty stuff because you mad that they got matcha without you, and they really are good friends, and then you decide that you didn't want to take them to the game, that's kind of petty. But again, we don't have time to be playing those reindeer games at our big age, right? Teresa, she was all over the place. Sis said it was still inconsiderate of the friends, though. Just communicate to her that they were going without her. Yes, that's what I was saying. Just communicate in the beginning, and nothing. Um, it was nothing wrong with having a communicating and saying, you know what, since you're not going, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and just go get matcha, and we'll meet you at the game, instead of you feeling away because or feeling like we did something behind your back. So communication is key. Just pick up the phone and communicate clearly so that all parties involved are on the same page. It really is easy. People make communicating so super hard. It really is easy. All we got to do is pick up the phone. It works both ways. If I'm feeling like I don't understand something, pick up the phone or just say, you know what, hey, just to clarify, are we meeting up to go get matcha, or are we meeting up at the game? It was that simple. SKR says she might be a person that takes over the conversation, buying stuff for them, planning activities that surround her. Good point. Good point. That's why we say choose your friends wisely. Choose your friends wisely. Let's Be Clear says, right, you have to be okay with not being included. You absolutely have to be. You can't go to everything. So what are you saying? If it's if it's something that's going on and you can't make it, should they cancel and not go because you can't go? SKR says she is so sweet and young, and it's a hard lesson. And you know what? I can remember when my girls were growing up, for whatever reason, I think it's more so a girl thing. I don't have boys, so I can't attest to if boys act the same way. But even at young age, girls be like, my friend, mama, can my friends come? Mama, I'm going to my friend's house. Mama, can my friends come here? They are so like stuck on their friends and act like they cannot do anything without each other. And it starts at a young age with these girls. And when they go through situations to where their friends aren't talking to them, or they had a little fallout, girl, they be distraught. You hear me? And I don't know if this is just with girls, but girls are just so like in that mindset that we can't do nothing without each other. My friends, my friends, my friends. And then when you have that little setback because she's not talking to you anymore, or she went and had more friends and they don't talk, made new friends and they don't talk to you, and you can just see it all over their faces when they come in from school, like, what's wrong? Well, she's not talking to me and she's not my friend anymore. And I'd be like, girl, so what? Go get you some more friends. Don't ever sit down and try to force anybody to be your friend. If they don't want to be your friends, goodbye. Go make new friends. But I know it wasn't that easy, but that was always my response. So what, girl, goodbye. Don't ever try to force anybody to be your friend. SKR says, I hope she finds her tribe. I hope she does too. I hope everybody find their tribe. Find your tribe. Find your tribe. Girls are hard to make friends with. Some of them are. That's why I didn't do the whole friend thing. Girl, I was a whole senior in high school, and I had more guy friends my whole high school year, middle school year, and everything. It wasn't until I went off to college until that I started actually forming real like friend tribes, girlfriends, because I had more guy friends than I had, because I ain't do that petty stuff. Sis said, child, I don't know about the next texting back, that not texting back. I feel if you just totally forget more than once, that could be deemed as disrespectful, not needy, but I don't do that at all. No, absolutely. Especially I'm the type of person who I see my phone, but what I'm saying is I may not be able to text you back right away. You know, people get busy, people get sidetracked. Sometimes messages get missed. Not an all the time thing, but just because a person didn't respond when you wanted them to respond or how they wanted you to respond, you know, that's nothing to get upset with or kind of side eye. But if I text you on Monday and it's Wednesday and you didn't respond, now then I would have a problem with that. But I'm talking about the whole same day, want you to respond right away, like the next 5 minutes. Hello, hello, did you get my text? Or call when you didn't respond to my text. Girl, people be busy. And I send it. If I text you and you don't respond right away, I don't think anything about it. You will see it when you pick up your phone. And especially if I know you are a person who have your phone tied to your hand all the time anyway, there was no way you missed that message. But I'm the type of person to whereas if I get a text message and I cannot engage right away, I'll just text and say, hey, I'll reach out to you when I got time to like thoroughly read your message and respond. Like I'm busy right now, you know, to kind of touch base and let you know I'm just not a disrespectful person in that manner. I'll respond back quickly, but if I'm in the middle of something, I'll be like, hey, saw your text message. We'll chat soon. But you know, and again, it all ties back into communication. Sis said, and it's cool. It just means I'll stop texting as often as or at all. Just call me Petty little beard girl. That's what I say. Now, if I know you are a person to have your phone and you ain't responding to my text message or my phone call, you'll be holding your breath before you receive another one. Like, don't play now. Teresa said, my boys wasn't like that, but my granddaughters and nieces were. So I'm wondering if it's just a girl thing, huh, Teresa? Chicha says she will SKR at her age is when you really go through those type of growing pains. She'll be okay, hopefully. Yeah, I'm sure she is. Look at Teresa talking about she petty too. Girl, y'all petty. Y'all must be some Virgos. Look at SKR say, oops, that's me. Bridget J says, I've always had more guy friends. I'm a girl's girl now, but girls used to bully me. Aw, girl, I can't stand bullies. I can't stand. And I had said to one of my other friends about the friend that I stopped talking to. I said, I think she used to be a bully when she was younger. I really think she used to be a bully when she was younger, or something is missing. I be trying to like psychoanalyze people when they behave in certain ways. I really be trying to deep dive and look into their personality. And I be like, who hurt you, sis? Like, you come off real rough. Like, who hurt you? But I don't have a problem separating myself. I know how to separate myself from people who, especially when I feel the vibe isn't there. I don't do that. But sis, I'm sorry to hear that you were bullied, because I don't feel like anybody should ever be bullied. I despise bullies. I feel like, especially the kids who bully in school, I feel like their parents should be fined, because you bully mine, the school gonna be calling the popos because I'm coming behind mine. All up and through the school. Don't play with it. SKR says, I'm horrible at texting back or calling. SKR, now you need to get better with that now, sis. You need to get better, sis. Don't be not texting back. Don't be not texting back. Let me put another one. I have another one that I'm going to add to the screen. Give me just a second. Let me pull this up. We're talking about friendship expectations. Okay, let me click on it.
I've had to walk several women over the years in therapy through the idea that birthdays in adulthood directly correlated to the ways that their parents didn't celebrate them as children.
Mm-hmm.
And because your parent never gave you the birthday of your dreams, you are trying to redeem what birthdays should have meant for
Yes.
you, for your friends.
Mhm.
But the issue is your friends are not solely responsible for celebrating you.
Mhm.
And I had to ask Mariah a hard question. If no one celebrated your birthday, how would you celebrate it? And she had there was no plan. There was no, and I was like, okay, so you're expecting someone to do something for you that you wouldn't even do for yourself.
Mm.
That's a hard, like that. And it wasn't out of judgment at all. It was really out of like helping her realize it's good, it's beautiful to want people to celebrate you and to let them celebrate you. Because some of us have people who want to celebrate us and we refuse that love. It's good to have someone who wants to celebrate you and you let them celebrate you.
Mhm.
And also, if no one celebrates you, do you even celebrate yourself?
Mhm.
And so having to teach her, and it helped her be less anxious around birthdays.
Mhm.
Because it was like, who is coming? Who's getting me what? How much does it cost? And like having to teach that person, it's okay. Your friend might get you a thoughtful card and you don't know what's going on in their life. They might not be able to get you a Louis bag.
Mhm.
No shade. Can you get yourself a Louis bag?
Mhm.
Okay, if you can't, could you imagine someone having the
And
expectation?
you're expecting. Nothing wrong with having a friend who can do that for you. I think that's
Yes.
beautiful if your
Yeah.
friend does it for you.
Yeah.
But requiring that from your friend is crazy. Require that from your man, not your friend. Something wrong with me? Because no, I wouldn't ask my friend to get me something like that. I wouldn't even
Yes.
expect that from my friend.
Yeah.
Then the expectations I have for my husband are not the expectations I have for my friends.
Absolutely.
And that's a whole thing too. Okay.
Okay.
I've had to.
Let me remove that one. So, what do y'all think about having expecting your friendship, your friends to do certain things for you? Like, let's say, for instance, if you're having a birthday party, the friend may not be able to attend the birthday party. Is that a requirement that your friend? And case in point, there was a chick that just, she celebrated her birthday in Jamaica. One of the friends, and she wanted all of her friends to go. One of the friends couldn't go to the Jamaica trip because financially she couldn't go. She said, it's not in my budget and I can't go. And the friend got upset. Would you get upset because your friend didn't have the money or the budget to go to Jamaica for your birthday? I think that's very selfish. And again, this is these expectations. As my friend, if I want you to come to say, because it costs how much? Like $1,500, if not a little more, to go to Jamaica. You got to book your resort, you got to book your flight and all of that kind of stuff. So if your friend does not have that kind of money to help celebrate you for your birthday, is that a cutoff? Like, why are you upset that your friend does not have the funds or the resources to do something? Because that's asking a bit much. I also know that there was another situation to where one of my friends attended a birthday party. And this chick was very like high end, and she was very like loved the finer things in life. And she just gave her a card and with some money in it. She gave her a card with some money in it. And don't you know the girl got upset because she didn't give her, like we're talking about the designer handbags and stuff. She didn't give her like what she considered a high-end gift. She felt the way because it was just a card with some money inside. Like, you could have not gotten anything. And that's my thing. I don't ever expect people to give me anything when it's my birthday. I don't expect it. I do it for other people, but I have learned I don't expect that. I feel like if you do it, it's from the kindness of your heart, but it is not an expectation. Because again, I know people be going through things and for financial hardships, and you may or may not have it. Especially with my birthday being in December and it's close to the holidays, we're fresh off of Thanksgiving, Black Friday, then getting ready for Christmas. I don't expect that. I celebrate my own self. I make my own plans for what I'm doing for my birthday. And those that want to come, they come. But I'm not expecting a gift, and I'm not feeling a certain kind of way because you didn't give me a gift. I feel like if you attended, if you came out to my birthday brunch for me, you gave of your time, There's not a dollar amount on friendship for me. You gave your time. You took out enough time from your busy schedule to come and attend my birthday brunch for me, and I'm appreciative of that. You didn't even have to give me a gift. I'm not that person. I'm not stuck on like materialistic stuff and people giving. But I will pay attention to where if I'm constantly giving and giving to you and then you never give, but you're always receiving, then I'm going to start matching energy. Okay, now, sis, I don't expect you to give me nothing. But if I'm constantly giving and giving you, like, let me stop giving. Let me stop giving because, okay, I'm going to meet you where you are. Because you're not going to just be receiving and you're not reciprocating, you know, what I'm doing for you as a friend. And I don't give to get. That's one mistake that we make. A lot of us want to give just because of what we're going to get in return. I don't do that. I give because it's out of the kindness of my heart. I thought about you and I wanted you to have this. I'm not expecting you to gift me anything because I gave you something. But if I'm constantly always celebrating you and thinking about you and always giving you gifts on your birthday and you ain't never reciprocating that, okay, now I'm stepping back. I'm stepping back. Neither one of us gonna be getting no gifts at all. Sis said, Bridget J, so sorry, and the memories of that I'm sure still hurt. What's their name, sis? Because I bully back, don't we, girl? At our big age, girl, don't play with it now. We don't start none, but it ain't gonna be none. Sis says a Louis bag from a friend, girl. Right, girl. If you don't get out of here. A knockoff Louis bag. Goodbye. Sharon says you better get it from your man. Hello, girl. Not at all. Right, sis, not at all. Teresa says kind of like old girl was with Portia. Sis says no, it's not a cutoff. If the friend wanted her there that bad, she should have paid. Absolutely. She should have paid. And that's exactly what I said. If you want me there that bad and you know that financially I can't afford to go, then I'm going to need you to pay my way. But don't be mad because I couldn't make it. I would never do that. And I wouldn't even expect it. That's something I wouldn't even expect anybody to, unless we've talked about it and we all agreed upon it in advance, well in advance, to where we can properly plan financially to be there. But I'm not asking for anybody to ever do anything of a high dollar value for me because I'm always considerate of other people. I'm always considerate of that's even if I'm planning something and it's a restaurant. I'm always mindful that everybody may not be able to afford carnivores downtown, an expensive steakhouse. Everybody may not be able to afford that. So I'm going to do something a little budget friendly, a little bit more budget friendly, so that all the people that I want to be there will be able to be there without having to, you know, pay all this kind of money just for one steak dinner. So I'm always very, very mindful. But again, you can't expect you out of other people. Sis says, no problem. I will make a post as soon as I know something. Oh, okay. I'm not sure who you were responding to, sis. I'll have to go back up. Chit Chat says, I'll call them right now and ask what they said to Bridget J in the 5th grade. Girl, girl, we go way back. Sis say all the way back to the 5th grade. Because what you say to her? Sis said, Teresa says, remember Philly Girl's big old friend's daughter? We bully back. Right, girl. We remember Philly Girl little situation. You welcome, Bridget J. Oh, Teresa says, and if they're really our friends, we already know if they can afford it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at sis talking about going off. Don't be going off. Sis say we going off. Like, don't do Bridget. I'm sure I have one last one to share. And this is it's kind of like a motivational one. Talking about opening yourself up to new friends. And I thought this was really good. And it's a great way to kind of end our conversation. Let me add. a great way to end our conversation. Look at Betty said, that's me during Christmas. I buy for others and tell them not to get me anything because I already know what I'm buying for myself. Something I know they'll say is too expensive, like my Brahman. Is it Brahmin? Brahmin bag. Girl, listen. I do the same thing. And Christmas is my favorite time of the year. I am, girl, call me Mrs. Santa during Christmas because I love everything Christmas and I love gift giving myself. And I don't even really be caring about, what I get. I always, again, like I say, I'm very mindful of people and their budget. If you can't get me nothing, that's absolutely fine. It be the thought that counts. And I tell people that all the time. It's the thought that counts. I don't expect stuff. But I love Christmas. Christmas is like my favorite holiday. So let's get in. Let me pull this one up. Let's get into this one.
Motivational moment. Hey, look, I was speaking to someone the other day and they told me that they didn't want any more friends. And I'm saying, why? They said, because I have been hurt so many times by people just walking away from me. And I'm saying, okay, so who has not been hurt? But why judge everyone based upon what someone has done to you? I'm not going to rob myself of having good friends because other friends have walked away from me. I have been in ministry for over 32 years and I've heard all of the promises. I've seen people come and I've seen people go. I'm never going to allow those relationships to dictate to me what I can get from another relationship. I genuinely love people and I want to remain in relationships with people. So be motivated today. Don't adopt that mindset that you don't want any friends because you have been hurt. Who has not been hurt? But the Bible says to let not your heart be troubled. That's on you. You don't have to be hurt. Cast that care, give it to God, and pray that God will expose, reveal, and remove everyone in your life that does not have your best interest at heart, and then replace them with people who do. My spiritual mama, Betty Price, taught me that. All right. So be motivated today not to close your heart because someone else has done something to you.
Oh, wasn't that good? Don't close your heart. Don't close your heart. Wasn't that a great message, y'all? Don't close your heart. Just pray and ask God to remove the people that shouldn't be in your life so that you can make room for people who do. Amazing, amazing. I say, oh my gosh, this is an amazing segue to end our discussion for the night, to just speak life and let you know that, friendships are good. It's a great thing to have amazing women in your life. And I tell you ladies all the time, I'm so appreciative of you all, just for your support, for always sharing up. And, we always showing up, but we always remember the names, the faces of the ones that pop in all the time. And y'all have really been riding, and y'all my friends. I really, really love my divas. And I have an amazing time with y'all, and this is what it's all about. But don't close your heart off to welcoming new friends, because you'll be surprised at, how good it just feels. You'll just be surprised at, the women that you allow to come into your lives, and how they'll make you forget about the ones who didn't stick. Leave the other ones alone, pray, ask God to remove them, and just be willing to accept other women in your life that actually have your best interest at heart. Because guess what? It really is some people that are out, some women, some friends that are out there that really will love you for who you are, and they really will have your best interest at heart. Not everybody is out to get you. Not everybody mean you harm. You just have to know how to pray and ask God to send you the right ones, send you the right tribe of sisters, send you the right people to have in your life. And girl, and I'm talking about some sisters that can pray you through some stuff to help get you through some of the most trying times in your life. And I can guarantee, if not most, all of us in this chat have gone through some things and been going through some of the most trying times in our lives, but we pop up here every Tuesday and we have our little topics in our conversations, or even on Sis's channel and in her members only. And we've been going through some things in our real life, but we pop in and we get a word from our sisters and we end these conversations feeling a whole lot better than we did when we first tuned in. That's what having and surrounding yourself by the right tribe and just real good friends and sisterhood, that's what it's all about. Like, I can come into contact with you and I leave feeling a whole lot better than I did when I come. Because sometimes you just want to hear that you got the support of your sisters. I'm praying for you, sis. You can do it. You can get through it. You know, God gonna work that thing out. We're gonna be right here praying for you, you know, and you can lean into each other and share what you're going through with no judgment, loving on each other. We listen, we don't judge, for real. And, you know, being able to just open up and share some of the things that you're going through and knowing that you're not being judged about it. Because we all have been through some things. Ain't none of us perfect. And none of us have lived a perfect life. We done been through some things and we've done some things that we're not so proud of. But guess what? When you surround yourself by like-minded women that can push and pull you in the direction that you need to go, also can hold you accountable and say, now you shouldn't have said that. Now that was wrong. Now I wouldn't have did that. But you my sister and I still love you. Gentle chastisement. That's what sisterhood is. Good sisterhoods is all about. That's what it's all about. Being able to just be able to speak life into each other. You know, it's been some times that I've been dealing with some stuff behind the scenes, but I'll see sisters live. I'm like, let me tune in and just get a word, an unexpected word. You know, you get unexpected conversations that you didn't know that you was walking in on, but it was something that triggered what you was going through and you left feeling a whole lot better. Some things that you may have been second guessing yourself about. All it takes is just one person to shoot you a text message and say, thinking about you, sis. What, don't that make you feel good? Like, how did she even know that I was going through something? And then I receive a text message or a phone call. You crossed my mind and I was thinking about you, not knowing that you was going through some real life ish. But having women who can connect and kind of feel like, okay, sis been absent. I ain't seen her in a while. Let me reach out. You good? You okay? And text messaging and all of that stuff is fine, but pick up the phone. I want to hear your voice sometimes. I want to hear your voice because a lot of times we can say we okay via text message or email or in the group chat or something. But let me hear your voice, because then I can really tell if you're okay. Because I can shoot a text back to you real quick and say, yeah, I'm good. How are you? But you be dealing with some stuff. But your sisters, when you connected, can feel like, okay, now this ain't like sis, you know, you ain't popped up. I ain't seen you. What's going on? Sisters who can recognize your absence care that much to say, hey, have you heard from so-and-so? I hadn't seen her in a while. Hope she's okay, praying for her. Those are the kind of people that you want that will miss you in your absence and are genuinely concerned about you and the things that you may be going through. Those are the kind of women that you want in your life. So don't be so quick to close yourself off and just shut yourself off from something beautiful, something that, you know, a lifelong relationship that you could be building with women who really do mean you good and mean you well. So always keep your minds open and always keep your heart open to receiving new people. And just because other people hurt you, let go of that hurt. Because it doesn't mean everybody that you come in contact will hurt you. So sometimes you just gotta, you know, be open to just meeting new people and forming new relationships, because it can be amazing, especially when it's with the right people. And you can feel it. You can feel when it's the right people. So don't close yourself off. Open up. Bridget J says, this sisterhood means the world to me. And you mean the world to us, sis. You mean the world to us too. I love you ladies. Sis said, yes, God knew what we all needed. Yes, he did. And it was right on time. It was right on time. You hear me? It was right on time. He always know. He always know what we be needing. He always know. Did you all enjoy the topic? I had an amazing time. I enjoyed this because I feel like this is something that we need. You know, I scream sisterhood all the time, but I really feel like, you know, friendships. We talk about relationships with, you know, the men in our lives or the exes in our lives, but, you know, honing in on friendships and the importance of friendship, that's key too, because we need each other more than we would ever admit that we do. But you need some good friendships and good sisterhoods and good girlfriends in your life. Like those are some of the most amazing relationships you can have, is relationships with good girlfriends. And you don't have to have known them for years and years and years. You can meet some women today and they can be just as a bigger part of your life, just as big as women that you've been known 15, 16, 20 years ago. And they can come and make just even a more bigger impact. And you just met them. So definitely, you know, open yourself up and allow yourself to meet new friends. Because we listen and we don't judge over here. We listen and we don't judge. Hey, Kimberly. She says, evening, Pink Diva Mize in chat. Thanks for joining, sis. We getting ready to head up out of here. We've been here for 1 hour and 51 minutes. And yes, Lady Sweetness. Yes, we do. Thanks, Bridget J. Bridget J said, great topic. CDW says, I enjoyed the topic. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But in our closing statement, just remember, friendship is one of the most valuable relationships that we will ever experience, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. So tonight reminded us that expectations and reality does not always match, but that doesn't mean a friendship has to fail. It means we have to communicate honestly, extend grace, and set healthy boundaries that protect both hearts that are involved. The truth is, no friend will ever be perfect, but true friendship is about showing up with love, respect, and understanding. When we learn to give what we can, receive what is offered, and release what no longer serves us, our friendships become stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling. So let us commit to nurturing our friendships with patience and compassion, but always, when expectations and reality meet with love, that's where sisterhood thrives. When our reality and our expectations are met with love. Awesome, awesome. Hey, girlfriend. Girlfriend Chronicles is here. She said, good evening. Been in and out of sleep, but listening in. Oh, sis, thank you for listening in. We're praying for you. We hope you feel better soon. We're so sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. Get well soon, sis. Get your rest and take your medication. Get well soon and take your medication so that you can get better. But thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for pulling up to the table tonight. Much love to all of the content creators that was here, to my sis, Chit Chat with QT. If you are not subscribed, please make sure you go subscribe to her channel. Turn your bell notifications on. And I know we're all here. So if you here, you over there. That's pretty much how it works. But to anybody that was listening in the bushes, please make sure you drop down and turn your bell notifications in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you turn your notification bells on so that you'll be notified each and every time we drop a new topic. And until next time, have an amazing, amazing rest of your Tuesday evening. I'm going to go find me something to eat and sit here and try to woosah just a little bit and get my life together so we can start it all over again on Wednesday morning. And as always, you go have yourself a good night. And if you can't have a good night, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. Have a good night, divas.